everyone. It's your girl V, and welcome to another episode of Mindful Unfoldings. It's a new week, new episode, a new conversation. And today we are in my mental journal. I'm going to actually name this episode Mental Journal 1. And as we continue on to every other episode, the number will increase. And yes, we're going to talk mental health because one of the main things and factors about mindful unfoldings is to focus on mental health and mental growth. So, yeah, we're going to speak about me. We're going to get personal a bit, and hopefully, maybe you can reflect, introspect, whatever you need to do to get your mind into the best mental space ever. So, let's get going. And when I was drafting this episode, I really wanted to be mindful of what I was saying. And please also note that some things that I'm gonna say is things I'm going through now of or have went through. And I was drafting this with my friend Carla, and she kept saying, "Yo, yo," and I was just like, "Wait, is it that deep? I don't want it to be that deep. I just want it to be safe and comfortable, and yeah." So it really took me a very long time to discover myself and the way I want to express myself, my thoughts and my visions. And I always ask myself if I'm like doing the right thing. Am I thinking positively? Am I dwelling too much on negative things? Am I focusing on things that I shouldn't be focusing on? Like, I've always been trying to find a balance between how to navigate growing up and how to navigate living life at the same time, which may be challenging because there's so many things and people and situations that you go through not knowing. And my biggest thing is that I feel too deeply, like I feel to the maximum. And if something hurts me, I will sit down and dwell in it. And I remember like when I was at the worst state ever in my mental health, it always came down to how I felt like I was always missing something. I felt like I couldn't find the people who I'm supposed to be connecting with. I couldn't find someone who's going to love me. I couldn't find the friend who was going to relate to me and tell me what I wanted to hear. And it really affected me and impacted my way of thoughts and my chain of thoughts because then all you do is literally beat yourself up for what you're not doing and you beat yourself up for what is happening. And to be quite honest, it was like dying inside and crying out loud at the same time because I always found joy in speaking to my friends. Like when something happened, I used to run to my friends and be like, "Oh, friend, this has happened or this happened." But also now I've learned that you really don't have to go consult to your friends about anything and everything because I realized that with mental health and how you see things and what you go through, you need to process those feelings alone because you're the only one that knows what you're going through. Running to people really doesn't help you with anything because then you're allowing different perspectives and opinions come in, and sometimes it's literally going to cloud your judgment. So for example, like if maybe you're going through a friendship breakup and you really want an opinion about if whether the decision that you're making is right for you, you're always gonna run to your other friend. But your other friend's gonna be like you're dramatic or you're not thinking clearly or oh my gosh, you guys have been friends for over 10 years. Surely if you feel like you can't be friends with her anymore, you should just do it. But it's like why can't you trust your own instincts? If you feel like you can't be around certain people, if you feel like you can't maintain a certain friendship anymore because it's one-sided, can't be in a relationship, can't be in that toxic environment, why do you constantly need to consult to people? Like you don't need to consult to people. If you trust yourself and your instincts, you can make that decision on your own, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. You don't have to pour out to feel like justified for making your own decisions. And that's something I struggled with. Like I always used to be like, friend, this is happening. Like, what should I do? But it's like, when are you going to grow up? Like, when are you going to grow up and make your own decisions and trust your own judgments? Because I felt like I didn't trust myself enough to make the right decisions. Hence, I always ran to other people. And I didn't realize how running to other people actually drained some of my friendships because it felt like, well, I remember having this one conversation with a friend. She's like, it's not that you're a bad person or a bad friend, but it's like there's always something happening which makes it feel like you always, like your life is chaotic. And it's like people don't enjoy chaos, especially when they don't experience it. So I'm not saying don't run to your friends for help or whatever it is. But sometimes it's okay just to sit down for a day or two and think about it yourself. And if you feel like it's the right decision for you, it probably is, because it's not only your gut telling you, but you've been thinking about it, and it's about how it made you feel. And now also it's like so difficult, because it's like, just because you're making a difficult decision alone doesn't mean that you have to go through life alone. That's another thing. Like, you don't have to go through life alone, but also certain decisions require you to go through them alone. It's like, my biggest thing has always been like, I'm so dependent on people that I knew that I don't have to go through life alone. But when I had to go through life alone, I didn't know how to navigate it. I don't know if that makes sense. But like, my biggest struggle is always just understanding that seasons, people, time comes and goes. Literally, like, no matter what happens, in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the confusion, the commitments that you have over your life, like, you need to trust the process enough to know that whatever decision you take, no matter how long it takes to get there, you will get it right, and it's the best decision over your life. And I think that also comes with faith. And in a couple of weeks, a very good friend of mine is going to come here, because it's someone that helped me with my spiritual journey. And when it comes to faith and trusting that whatever decision you make is led by faith, knowing that you are going through it with God and yourself and the people who actually love you. And something my friends always tell me is like, girl, go where you're loved. Like, go where you're loved, go where you're appreciated, go where people are actually willing to take those steps with you, even if it's going to be a mistake. But go where you love to make those decisions, you know, whether it's good or bad, you need to always go where you're loved, because no matter what decision you make, there's always going to be people who are going to grab you and bring you down to earth, which is why it's always important to master the art of letting go. Like, just let go and make that decision. Because I think the biggest thing with mental health is like your fear of not being justified in what you're thinking about. So, which is why I always say, like, it's important to also just do things that are going to help you cultivate your mind. Things are going to calm you down, like meditate, read a book, like take a walk around your estate or your complex or down the street, up the street 5 times at 5 a.m. in the morning. Because waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning is actually really nice, because of the morning breeze. You get to think, listen to podcasts, watch Netflix for peace sake, listen to music, whatever makes you happy and whatever contributes to your mental health, do it. I know for me, I love meditating and journaling and, just listening to different sermons, because, we're all on a different path and a different journey. And I feel like spiritual growth contributes to your mental growth. And, just reading different sermons, like doing stuff that's actually going to help you trust yourself more and trust your mental state more. Because at the end of the day, that's really important. And that's why I always say, just take your time in whatever you're doing. Take your time if it comes to schoolwork, take your time if it comes to self-work, take your time if it comes, whatever you're doing, just take your time. We're not running a marathon. You don't have to beat whoever you think you need to beat. You need to satisfy yourself, because at the end of the day, this is your future, your life, your decision, and how you want everyone has a plan for the future. If you want to be rich, cry in a Bentley, girl, you need to do that at your own pace, at your own time, and understand that it's okay to start over. Even if you feel like what you believed in is not what you don't believe in anymore. Sometimes, people leash on their dreams because they're so afraid of starting over. And it's just like, you don't have that passion anymore. You don't have that passion for music. You don't have that passion to be a doctor. It's okay to figure it out and start over and do it again until you get it right, because your mental state matters. Like, I can't stress this enough. What is in here will always come out in everything that you do, whether it's school, work. Your mental state matters. The people that you keep around you matter. Your relationship with your parents matter. Your relationship with yourself, your partner, whatever, it matters. Which is why you need to also take your own time to do the right thing and do right by yourself. Don't overcompensate. Don't give more than you get. Always reciprocate energy. That's something I've learned now, actually mastered now, just reciprocation of energy. And just be you, do good by you, stand right by you, and just do things that will really bring you at a pace of peace. It's a learning and growing journey, and eventually you want to glow and be happy and just really, really know that whatever you're doing it with your full heart. And that is my mental journal. Like, I really am at a place in my life where I'm just letting things be. Hey, like, whatever comes, comes, whatever goes, goes. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Because I know, like, if you sit down and you calculate every single thing and you wonder, what's happening here? What's happening here? What am I doing wrong? It's like, it doesn't work for your good. Like, it doesn't work out. Actually, you self sabotage that way. So, without even putting pressure on myself, I'm just at a point where I'm just like, you know what happens, happens. Whatever is happening for my good. Whether it hurts somebody else to see me make decisions that makes them uncomfortable, it is none of my business. At the end of the day, I took this decision and I'm sticking beside it. I'm standing on business. That's what we say. So yeah, I'm standing on business with my mental health, and I really encourage you guys to stand on mental business because it's really important. And yeah, that is it. Actually, it's a very short episode because we've been having such challenging and like deep conversations if you've been catching up with us. So when I said mental journal, I just wanted to make sure that I also get back to myself so that when I am preparing for the next episode with the different guests I'm going to have, which I'm very excited about, it's like you always want to make sure that whatever you speak about, you speak from a place of healthiness, because there's no point in me sitting here and saying whatever I had to say and being at the worst mental state ever. Like, you can't trust my judgment at that point. Like, you're not going to listen to someone who's not mentally okay because I'm speaking from a place of emotion. And I want to be conscious in my space and the podcast. That's what the space is for. Hence, I opened up the mental journal episode. And you will definitely still hear Kay's voice if anyone's wondering. Kay is definitely much still alive and well, and she's here. She's always here. And yeah, I'm just really excited for the next 2 episodes. We're going to have some exciting people, some of your faves that you guys actually know from their own platforms, who are also going to just speak about so many things that we can all come back to on this episode specifically, but also just help you guys on different perspectives and what we have to say as girls in their 20s, because it's not easy. But yeah, so take care of your mind, your body, your soul, and your mental health. And don't forget to follow Busang Studios on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. He recently opened a TikTok page. Don't forget to follow us at Mindful Unfoldings on Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you guys next week with my very good friend Leletu Mabentela. And until then, bye.